Morning. Thank you everybody for joining us. We finally met quorum, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us this morning for the Finance and Infrastructure Committee. We are going to begin with public comment. If there's anyone from the public who wishes to comment. Good morning.
Grand Rising, everyone. D. Jones here. I was just speaking to my good friend Mike, president of the Sports Commission, and it's funny though because I came here and I was like, all right, I'm finna speak to Kent County Board about the Esports Regional Finals 2026. Last year we brought 39 schools, 13 colleges, 26 high schools from across the state. And then today, me and Mark Hodges, CEO of Comic Con and the president of the largest K-12 esports organization, is about to go enjoy some Hispanic food and actually plan out the regional finals this year, where we'll have 80 plus schools at the DeVos Place this year, the largest esports regional finals in the United States. And on top of that, we are actually going to have in a professional organization that's looking to combine. We can't get 2 ballrooms from Mark, but we're probably going to have to combine 2 of the ballrooms exactly like A and B or C and D together. And hopefully we can bring this other professional esports organization, because they're huge in the fighting gaming community, and they're trying to bring an additional 1,000 people, and they host large cash prize competitions. So we're probably going to have a professional and the K-12 collegiate and high school scholastic esports competition, or just the scholastic. But either or, we're definitely going to have the scholastic esports competition here at the DeVos Place again. So I'm going to continuously ask you guys to support the Sports Commission. If there's any funding that you guys can get to the Sports Commission to continue to support the infrastructure work that we're building, we're really building equitable, ethical esports infrastructure, and we're not excluding anyone. We're being sure that we're getting access to all of the students, everyone possible for esports. Ben and Al, you guys still owe me a conversation about the esports regional finals, so I'm going to hold you guys to that regardless of what I say in public comment, because you guys said you're going to get back to me, and I'm going to hold you accountable because I stand on all business regardless of any guy, any lady. I'm going to continuously hold you accountable to that. So please be sure you get back to me so we can speak about the good funding that's going through the federal government and the state, potentially the county, so we can have a larger technical impact on Kent County, because I'm going to keep using the billionaires' facilities. Like I was just speaking to the Y on Friday, and they didn't know that you can actually develop infrastructure and utilize things like the soccer stadium, or that the Detroit Lions uses an Xbox controller to control their production. As you guys know, I brought the youth to the Detroit Lions facility before our partnership ended, but I still have that knowledge, and I'm still passing it on to the Y, and being sure that once that facility is built, that we can have FIFA esports competitions, which I already spoke to Grand Action 2.0 and DeVos's and everybody else, so nobody's going to steal credit of D. Jones in the future hosting a FIFA esports competition at the soccer stadium. Yeah, that's D. Jones. I got to be saying that publicly because I was the genius who thought of that innovative thing of bringing workforce technical advancement to Kent County. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public who wishes to comment this morning? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to our special order of business. We'll welcome Mike Gustweiler from the West Michigan Sports Commission.
Thank you, Chair Teal. Commissioners, it's always a pleasure to be here to present to you. Again, Mike Gustweiler, President of the West Michigan Sports Commission. I've got my annual report here, or I should say our organization's annual report. I didn't do everything in it, but certainly it's impactful. It tells the story of what we've been doing. Our organization closed out 18 years in 2025 in our 19th year, and actually the way that the calendar works, June really hits our 20th year. So a lot of celebration around what we've been doing for nearly 20 years in the sports tourism space. I don't have to tell you, D. Jones, just a force to be reckoned with, but everything that he's saying, holds true. He's an advocate for great things, but the sports tourism, and specifically esports, certainly is having an impact. So, just kind of hitting on our mission and our vision and starting there, we have 3 key operations. Certainly our core operation, which is to bid on and bring in youth and adult amateur sports. That's also supported by 2 other operations that we're able to develop that hits on our mission of really promoting and enhancing our region through sport. and doing it in a way that attracts economic benefit through the visitors that come, that otherwise, we wouldn't see those dollars spent in our region. So the Meyer Sports Complex and the Meyer State Games in Michigan. So I'll be hitting on all three of those and the impact that we've seen in 2025 and continue to see. We're governed by a board of 15. Commissioner Teal is on our board. We certainly look to maintain that relationship with the Kent County Commission, having been born kind of out of a public-private partnership led by the county back in 2006, 2007. And those 15 board members, we always try and, of course, look at a good cross-section of our community. Then we have a supporting level and partner level of an advisory council, individuals that we know are interested in the work that we do, that want to be part of what we're doing, and certainly then offers that opportunity to bring those individuals onto our full board, if they really have that strong interest. And our staff is, 10 staff members strong downtown. Of course, our Meyer Sports Complex, we've got 2 contracted employees, our complex manager, our food and beverage, we have a ground supervisor, but we bring on 40 to 50 temporary seasonal employees to help put the season on. And that's happening right now as we're getting into our what I believe is our 13th season at the Meyer Sports Complex. We also have a very robust intern program that started early on as we started the state games back in 2010. And we've seen students from across the region and even outside of the state come and participate as one of our interns. In fact, many of our staff members were former interns, so it's great to see the opportunity to really bring these people into the fold a little bit further. We brought on a couple of new staff members as we continue to grow, a marketing coordinator and an administrative and special projects coordinator to support many of the different things that we have going on. And we had a year of really recognition and opportunities to show and lead in what we're doing, both through our professional trade association, Sports ETA, Cranes, of course, Grand Rapids, and then GR Chambers program, Athena. We had a young professional leadership nominee in one of our staff members. So really hitting in the meat and the impact that we have. We're over 100 events annually on our event calendar, again, that hit the statewide, regional, national, and even international scope of events and bringing people into our community. It is producing room nights that, of course, pay receipts into the lodging tax, and it's about attracting those families into our community and the travel parties and the travel party size that then spends their money here. So an estimated $83.5 million in 2025. You see a sampling of some of the events that we've hosted, and really, again, that range of international, national, as well as local or statewide. The Hartford Nationals was a major event on our event calendar. We partnered with Mary Free Bed Wheelchair and Adaptive Sports. The Hartford Nationals is the largest youth and adult competition for adaptive athletes, and we saw people come from many different states. In fact, on this slide shows 36 different states. The prior slide, it was an economic champion through our sports destination management publication, but also really just shows and shines the highlight of inclusivity around sports, showing these athletes that really surpass their own expectations and physical limitations through sport. And just the stories that we see from these athletes and these families that are traveling from these 36 different states is inspiring. We're happy to have worked with Mary Free Bed. We'll host this again this July 10 through 16. Much of what we do takes a lot of volunteers, certainly a lot of sponsors, but as you speak about our work, certainly we would appreciate if you point people in our direction that if they're looking to volunteer and get involved, we could use them. This event alone takes 400 volunteers. So again, we're looking forward to having this group back. They They usually do 2 years in one location and then move it around the country. They're scheduled to go out west, but the location they identified wasn't ready for 2027. They asked, would we host again? We had the largest count that they've had in their 30-year history here in Kent County. And so I think it said a lot for both our team in working with theirs and the production we were able to do. So there is a chance that we will host again in 2027. Berry City Open is another example. We work with Grand Rapids Pickleball. This has really grown to the point where it's capped, 1,250 players. The impact it has, it was another economic champion of economic impact in years past. And they partner with Major League Pickleball now. And the activity that we see surrounding this tournament and over July 8th through 13 is nothing short of amazing. We're getting feedback and recognition nationwide through many different publications for the quality of this tournament being put on. And it just offers more opportunity for the future around one of the fastest growing sports that we're seeing. To touch on some of the international scope, the World Ice Fishing Championships by U.S. Angling was held in Lakeview, Michigan. 10 different countries participating. U.S. Angling had such a great experience that now they're using Lakeview as kind of their annual location to come and fish. But it just, again, represents the opportunity that exists to attract people into Kent County and our region here. Myers Sports Complex being another one of our operations that we invested in developing sport infrastructure to attract more people into our community. And know that when we create these facilities, this infrastructure, it also is a community asset. While the weekends are dedicated and we really promote to be sports tourism driven and bringing people from throughout the Midwest region, but even further into our community. Throughout the week, it's being utilized by a lot of our locals, our residents, our Kent County clubs and organizations as really just a great facility for them to play baseball and softball. These are some of the numbers from 2025. This is actually a lower year. We had some cancellations. Typically, we're 20 to 22 travel tournaments. The room nights stayed above 5,000, almost eclipsed 6,000 annually, and the number of spectators and teams that come through there on an annual basis. That made us launch into the Winning Streak campaign. We have 80 acres up there. We had built originally on 62 acres, lived on that for 10 years and saw that it was a sustainable model to hit our mission in bringing people into our community. And felt that coming out of COVID and seeing sports tourism as that leading edge, putting people back into our communities, back into our hotels, and into our restaurants and supporting small business, that it made sense that we expand on this. And so we launched the Winning Streak campaign. Unfortunately, the dollar doesn't go as far as it did back when we originally built it. So a $14 million campaign added another quad, but also added the sport of pickleball. It added some improvements to the complex, to our championship baseball field, creating parity and equity at the complex with the championship softball field. We do have collegiate ball up there with Aquinas men's playing at the championship baseball and Aquinas women's softball playing at the championship softball field. Occurred for the first time this spring. Excited to have that, and then it led into the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference Championships being held at the complex this past week. So great opportunities with the additions that we're adding, and that's only growing. Myers State Games of Michigan closed out in the summer games, its 16th year, in the winter games, I believe its 11th year, and we're hitting nearly all the counties throughout the state of participation. This is all about activating our Michigan residents around sport and health and wellness, but also driving them here, hopefully, in their pocketbooks. But it certainly is one of 30 different states that run state games. We run it out of our office. It's been successful and continues to be of attracting people into our community around sport and the celebration of sport. We take it a little bit further with Olympic Day, where we partner with former Olympians from past games that live in Michigan who come and participate in Olympic Day and make it a field day for local youth. And we worked with Spartan Nash YMCA to conduct that. We had 4 Olympians work with these kids and talk about the importance of sports, of fair play, and just getting out for play's sake and the health and wellness aspect. And so we had just a great day of promoting sport with our local youth, and we'll continue to do that. We have a couple of different fundraisers that help support a lot of our different programming, our golf outing. We had our annual luncheon come back. Certainly those play into some different opportunities for us to support local programming as well, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. Before I go there, Harold Voorhees, I think many of you know him as a statesman, as a former county commissioner. He was an inaugural board member. His family, we approached because we wanted to do something special to recognize Harold and what he means to our region and to the Sports Commission. And we created this Harold Voorhees internship program. Obviously, we have a robust internship program. We have all these kids that come and certainly get credit through their program, but we provide a stipend. And so their family, through the support they give, helps provide some of that stipend that we're able to continue that program on. But it was a great way to recognize Harold and what he means to advancing youth and certainly advancing communities. I mentioned our fundraisers. We do have this Victory Lap Community Fund that a portion of the proceeds go to support local programming that really the emphasis is to provide for underserved communities, that we have a grant system where they can approach us and we can apply some grant support to ensure that we're seeing some benefit through our community. We see that importance. While it's not our primary mission of the sports tourism, we know that we need to be a good partner in our community in rising up sport at the local level as well. So just, hitting on our financials, we're fortunate to have the support of the lodging and hotel assessment collections through Experience Grand Rapids. That's the bulk of where we have our operating revenue. Our Meyer Sports Complex and State Games, their revenues are generated predominantly through their operations, through sponsorship or athlete registration, or our revenue centers being, venue access fee, field rental, or concessions. And they're pretty much sustainable in doing the work that they're doing. And then we have, of course, our special events. We do receive a marketing stipend from the CAA to market the buildings that are under them, and then some business and charitable donations. And then with that, again, it's to put on our other 2 operations, again, being self-sustaining, and really service the events that we bring in, but go out and try and attract more of those events. So in recap and looking at, a sum of 18 years in total, nearly 1,500 events, 632,000 plus room nights, doing the math, it's pretty significant. The now 8%, but formerly 5% tax that on that average group room night that comes back into the lodging tax receipts. So certainly you're getting a return on investment in what you created back in 2006 and 2007, and we hope to continue to grow that because, the $822 million over the lapse of our time of estimated visitor spending is a piece of what is a $60 billion industry and only growing. So appreciate all that you're all doing. Certainly looking forward, we have many events. This is just a sampling, and many of them happened already. 2 major volleyball events that happened in DeVos Place Convention Center. Our state games are coming up, our opening ceremonies. We always love it if you can attend those. And much more. We've, with the pickleball courts that we're building up at the complex, we already have a tournament scheduled for September, a national tournament. We have the Law Enforcement Torch Run in partnership with Special Olympics of Michigan coming in November. And certainly the year wraps up with the GLI and Gymnastics on the Grand. Gymnastics on the Grand, also another event that we've been part of since their beginnings, and it's grown to be one of the largest gymnastics event in the region, if not the country. So very excited with where we're headed. We are doing a study in partnership with other community partners, including Kent County Parks. The study really encompasses what current master planning is being done around infrastructure that lends to sports, and how can we as a sports commission look at that and work with these municipalities to identify what if we raise that up to meet the level of a PDGA, professional disc golf, or whatever the sport might be, and we can become partners so that it's quality facilities for the residents, but also we could attract sports tourism and the dollars that come with it. So thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity to spend a little time and review the work we continue to do and the support that we always get from Kent County and the commissioners.
Thank you for your presentation. Are there any commissioner questions or comments? Commissioner Pakla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mike, thanks for being here. Always appreciate hearing the great work that you're doing. I was pleased to hear recently that Genesee County had sort of an exchange program where they were looking at coming in to learn about the sports complex. Can you talk a little bit about how the sports complex is serving as a model for other counties interested in doing a similar kind of work?
Yeah, and it extends outside of even just the state of Michigan. We've had, some kind of trade visits by Billings, Montana. I've had calls from Fort Dodge, Iowa. We've been identified as kind of a model sports commission because of the successes that we've done. In fact, if you benchmark us against other sports commissions, which, it's not just sports commissions, that's probably the lowest population of organizations. It's convention visitors bureaus, it's chambers in smaller communities going after that $60 billion industry. We've been successful in attracting statewide, regional, national. We've built infrastructure and led that discussion, and we run our state games. So we're a very unique sports commission, but I think, others like Genesee County, look at that and say, okay, how did you get that done? I know Wayman Britt is a big part of that group of looking at, what are we doing? And I appreciate that. One thing that we find in our industry is there's a lot of sharing and best practice sharing. I think it goes back, Commissioner, to the importance of infrastructure, of the importance of it attracting sports tourism, which if you can build something to that level, it's only going to be better for your residents. So, we use that back in, quite honestly, when we were in a recession, when we were formed, and just went about saying, hey, we need to build things that are going to attract more people into our community. So we built the Meyer Sports Complex. In the first couple of years, it needs to get up and running, and so operate a little bit in the red, not horribly, but now it's operating in the black, not huge margins, but it's also a great asset for our local community. And that's why I see this next study being so important of, how can we continue to work together, build things that are great for our residents. These are self-sustaining through the fees that are paid, and they're nominal fees. But I think it works. It works to build up community, add vibrancy, activity, but also attract tourism.
Thank you, and Madam Chair, if I might, one more. The other question I had, I was doing some back-of-the-envelope math on the revenue and, sort of what's coming in from Experience Grand Rapids and the 4% assessment that comes from hotel rooms. Do you all track when folks are coming in and using hotel codes from, tournaments and things, how much direct hotel revenue is coming back? Because the reason I'm asking is my back-of-the-envelope says that about $300,000 worth of hotel revenue goes directly back into Experience Grand Rapids, which is about a quarter of that budget that's coming from Experience Grand Rapids, which is amazing. I could see scaling that bigger, and then eventually that portion of the revenue is coming exclusively from work that you're doing just on the hotel space, and then there might be a future in which that revenue portion grows and grows just based on the great work you're doing. So do you keep those data?
We do. In fact, the data was in the slides that I showed. The room nights are directly tracked. And we have a staff member on our team, Melissa Bay, that does the post-report analytics to identify where are these people coming from. Because a lot of the sports tourism events are not like conventions where you've got one planner, you know your attendees. These individuals are all coming and we don't get that information, so we have to track it down, and we do it by zip codes, and we know, if they are 120 miles out, they're staying the night. And so that's how we're tracking it and identifying, okay, they stayed the night. Sometimes we will, all the time, we will survey our hotels, but they don't know either. They might see, a baseball uniform or soccer cleats or, hockey equipment, or they know when hockey's there. But they don't track it either in their system unless it was a group block. And so, we need to track it a little bit further to do exactly what you're saying. What is the real economic value? And so that's as best as we can identify in the numbers that we put in here. And it is growing, and there's more opportunity for growth.
Yeah, and just to clarify, the number that I pulled to do this was directly from the presentation, so I appreciated that. 50,000 room nights is an amazing number of room nights, so thank you.
Thank you.
Any other commissioner comments or questions this morning? Thank you for a great presentation.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, Commissioners.
Okay. Seeing no additional conversation on that, we will move on to our consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda? Moved by Commissioner Sparks. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner McLeod. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are on to our action items. Action item A from Fiscal Services, Department of Public Works, refuse disposal system bond series 2026.
Action requested. Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to approve a resolution allowing the county and Department of Public Works to issue refuse disposal system bond series 2026. Summary. The DPW refuse disposal system bonds are authorized under Public Act 185 of 1957 as amended. The proposed resolution will allow the county and DPW to issue refuse disposal system bonds series 2026. The bond proceeds will be used to pay for necessary improvements, including but not limited to PFAS pretreatment and wastewater processing and treatment improvements to serve the Kentwood landfill, North Kent landfill, and the South Kent landfill, and such other capital improvements as the county shall determine to make in an amount currently estimated not to exceed $14,430,000. The principal of and interest on the bonds will be payable from the funds of the Kent County Refuse Disposal System, which is a fund for the Kent County Refuse Disposal System and other funds of the county. Staff anticipates closing on the bonds in June of '26. Bond Council has reviewed and approved all documents.
Is there a motion for this item? Moved by Commissioner Pacla. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Womack. Is there questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Ponstein.
Thank you. I'm supportive of the bonds, but I just want to once again point out just the cost of issuance of bonds. I opened the packet, it's 80 pages long, and saw the agenda has 3 action items, and the amount of legal work that goes into it just to borrow money is just, I don't want to say waste, but just we'll go with incredible, and I'll try to just stay positive.
Yeah.
Any other? Commissioner Coleman.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate, the fiscal team put together a few years ago, I don't remember when this was exactly, but we had a bond review subcommittee, and out of that, one of the recommendations was whenever we're looking at bonding, to get kind of the baseball card, stat sheet of like how this fits in the larger picture. To Commissioner Ponstein's point on the cost of issuance, I think it was somewhere around $400,000 here in issuance cost. I don't know, Taylor, I apologize, but I don't know if it's possible to bring that up, because I saw it this weekend. I thought it was great, super, super helpful. And then I promptly forgot my laptop on my desk at home this morning, so I don't have it to look at. So I don't know if it's possible to bring that up, just to look at kind of the terms of the bonding. If I remember right, it was like 3.79% interest is what we're thinking it would come in at. The total cost was somewhere around $20 million over the term. I'm sure I'm getting some of these details wrong.
Oh, what he sent?
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible to bring that up. I do think it would be good to have that in the packet for consideration by the full board if we can't
We'll get
bring
that
it
in.
in today.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess on the particulars of the use of the funds here, just so I understand, like, do we, obviously PFAS, not good. Where is the source of the repayment funds coming from, and what particular obligations do we have? Are there's like EPA, requirements that are now in place that didn't exist before, and so we have to fund these, or like what's the nature of the requirements here?
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the question. Public Works has been impacted by PFAS as well as many other organizations. Because we're the point of final disposition, our South Kent landfill, our waste energy facility, our closed Kentwood landfill, and our closed North Kent landfill have all been impacted by PFAS. It goes back to the 40s and 50s, and because these materials were disposed of then and are still being disposed of today, PFAS leaches out of the products that this material was put into, and we have to treat it out. Specific to your question, Commissioner, we're regulated by 4 different agencies today: the Grand Rapids City Wastewater Treatment Plant, the Wyoming City Wastewater Treatment Plant, the North Kent Sewer Authority, and the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, now known as EGLE. So we have 3 discharge permits with the wastewater treatment plants, and we also have what's called an NEPDES, stormwater discharge permit that's managed by EGLE, and that's at the North Kent landfill. In terms of how we're paying for that, the South Kent landfill is continuing to operate, and that has about a 5-year lifespan. We'll be paying for those bonds from our tip fee revenues, so we'll be adjusting our fees accordingly to pick up this extra cost. And for the closed facilities, we'll be looking at whether or not we need to bring back a recommendation to the Board of Public Works and to the full Board of Commissioners then to make an adjustment to the waste surcharge that's currently at $1.68 per ton. We have built this into our 2026 budget and our 2027 budget, the debt service. So we've already anticipated it, and it's covered for the next 2 years. But at our last meeting or recent meeting, we did discuss with commissioners, I think Commissioner Steck brought it up, that perhaps we take another look at the surcharge and whether we need to adjust that a little bit to make sure that we're covering that 20-year debt service.
Yeah, just to follow up, so that makes a ton of sense to me. I guess in the larger picture of our debt burden at the county, so it's about $500 million total right now, but from various sources and everything. But I'm curious how these bonds would fit into, for the DPW specifically, any future bonding requests around like sustainable business park or those kind of things, just that longer term view?
Yeah, so we would need to come back if additional bonding was needed to finance something in the future. As you know, we're going through a strategic review So we've not moved any projects like that forward. In the past, we have cash funded many of our needs. The waste to energy facility, our 5-year refurbishment was cash funded. The construction of our administrative offices was cash funded. The build out of the new North Kent transfer station was funded by cash reserves. And actually, the total cost of the PFAS pretreatment, buildings, equipment, all in is roughly about 18.8 million. So about $4.8 million is being funded through cash reserves that the Public Works has set aside. So we're funding a portion of this with cash, but we're requesting the 14 million because of the long-term challenges of PFAS, and we'll be treating it for many years to come. Yeah.
Commissioner Pacla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dart, thanks for being here today. Two quick clarification questions. First is, can you remind me, as far as the enterprise fund operation goes of county's DPW, with these bonds and repayments, are there any general fund obligations that are coming to repay the bonds, or are they solely from the refuse side of the operations at DPW?
Yeah, it's solely from the refuse size of the DPW. I believe these are general obligation bonds, which are cheaper to issue, and I think you have a more attractive interest rate. So I think I don't want to speak out of turn. There's a lot of professionals in the room that can assist, but so I think we're using the full faith and credit of the county, but we're using special revenue, if you will, or revenues from our refuse disposal system to actually pay them back.
It's
That's-
secure, I'm
yeah.
sorry, it's secured by that revenue.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
The second clarification I'm hoping you can provide this group, we've been on the Board of Public Works, but we currently have bonds that we are finishing paying off for the Recycling and Education Center, for the MRF.
We do.
Can you talk through just sort of the timing overlap of that? I know we talked at length about this in Board of Public Works.
Sure. So in 2009-ish, the county issued a 20-year bond series to fund the construction and equipment for the Recycling Education Center. Now, we have 4 years left to pay those off, and I think it's roughly $900,000 a year. So we'll have overlapping for about 4 years. I think in 2030, the debt service on the recycling center will be retired, and then we'll be moving forward with the debt service for another 16 years, if you will, the remaining of what we owe for the PFAS treatment.
Great. That's helpful to see the roll-off of that one set of debt obligations and this new one.
Yeah, and I know that Mayor Kepley, who now serves as a board member, had asked, can we pay these early? And we did double check. There is an opportunity, I think, at the 10-year mark, which is what we also did with the recycling center bonds. Although we didn't pay them early, Jeff went through, and I think we reduced our interest rate at that time.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Thank you for answering those. With no additional conversation, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are on to item B from Community Action, approval of supplemental appropriation to the Community Development Federal Project Fund.
Action requested. Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to appropriate $21,012.04 of program income for the Community Development Block Grant Programs to the FY26 Community Development Federal Project Fund budget. Summary. Kent County KCCA has received $21,012.04 in additional program income above the budgeted amount. CDBG program income is generated through home rehabilitation program loan payments. KCCA is requesting an appropriation of $21,012.04 to reinvest these funds into the Community Development Program Fund for the continuation of similar CDBG eligible activities.
Is there a motion for this item? Moved by Commissioner McLeod, supported by Commissioner Womack. Any questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Pacla.
I just had a process question on this. In terms of the amount, I'm curious why this one came on as a separate action item as opposed to the consent agenda, given our changes to the standing rules for the $50,000 threshold.
I'm not sure.
Okay. That, it's not a make or
It
break for me.
probably
I was
could have
just-
been done
yeah.
either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are on to our final action item from the Administrator's Office, Summer 2026 General Operating Property Tax Levy.
Action requested, recommend to the Board of Commissioners to authorize a summer 2026 general operating property tax levy. Summary. Pursuant to state law, a notice of public hearing concerning the 2026 county budget was published in a newspaper of general circulation on August 3, 2025, and a public hearing concerning the budget was held on August 14, 2025. The Kent County Board of Commissioners adopted a fiscal year 2026 appropriation on August 28, 2025. The 2026 adopted budget requires the levy of 4.0142 mils to be authorized for the 2026 summer tax billing, which has a tax levy date of July 1 of 26. Funds derived from the levy of this millage will be utilized to support general operating purposes, including in the county's 2026 adopted budget.
Is there a motion for this item? Moved by Commissioner Pacla. Is there support? Support. Supported by Commissioner Hildebrand. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are on to Commissioner comments this morning. Are there any Commissioner comments? Okay, seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you all for joining us.